Today, we're diving into a really powerful case study. It's about what happens when someone you trust breaks that trust completely and turns your private life into a weapon against you. But more importantly, it's a story about how you can use the law as a shield to fight back and win back your life. I mean, just think about that question for a second. It's terrifying. What do you actually do when someone you once trusted threatens to expose your most intimate moments to get what they want? Well, we're going to follow one person's journey through that exact nightmare and see how they found a way out. So, let's get right into it. And these situations rarely ever start out as a nightmare. In fact, this story begins not with malice, but with trust, which shows you just how slowly and horribly a supportive relationship can turn into a coercive one. So let's meet our protagonist. We're going to call her Amelia. And she's a successful professional, a dentist, an educator. She's not someone you might picture in a situation like this. And that's exactly what makes her story so important. It's proof that this can literally happen to anyone. So how did this all go so wrong? Well, it didn't begin this way. Amelia met a colleague, who we'll call Daniel, when she was going through a tough patch. He became a confidant, someone she trusted. Over time, that professional relationship turned intimate. But when Amelia tried to pull back, to focus on her career and her marriage, Daniel's behavior took a really dark turn. He got controlling, demanding, and then the threats began. And this is where the real torment kicked in. Daniel started to weaponize their intimacy. Turns out he'd been secretly recording their private moments. He started sending her these awful, edited collages of those images. The message was crystal clear. You'll do exactly what I say or I will ruin your life. And I really want to stress this. This wasn't just a one-time threat. No way. This was a full-on, sustained campaign of psychological warfare that pushed Amelia right to the absolute edge. I mean, can you even imagine living in that constant state of anxiety? Amelia couldn't sleep. She started avoiding work opportunities, staying off social media, just terrified that any little thing she did might provoke him. Her fear got so bad she was worried he would just show up at her home or her workplace. And his control just kept escalating. He started forcing her to meet him in person. He would pick a hotel, and Amelia, feeling totally trapped, would go. These became this grim, humiliating routine, often lasting just a few minutes. It wasn't about connection. It was purely about asserting his power and leaving her feeling emotionally broken. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, it does. This cycle of abuse got supercharged. Amelia agreed to see him one last time, believing it would be their final meeting. She had no idea he'd set up a hidden camera. That secret recording became his new, even more powerful weapon, trapping her in a horrifying cycle with even higher stakes. The emotional toll of all this, well, it just became unbearable. The fear, the shame, the constant pressure, it pushed her to her breaking point. She felt so completely isolated that she started to believe the only way to make it all stop was to end her own life. But right there, at her absolute lowest point, she found a lifeline. And this is the major turning point in the story. This is where fear turns into a fight, and the law becomes not some abstract thing, but a real, tangible shield. Now, to really get how she fought back, we need to be crystal clear about what was happening legally. This wasn't just some messy personal dispute. What Daniel was doing was illegal. His relentless contact and threats, that's harassment. And using those threats to demand her silence and compliance, that is textbook blackmail, a serious criminal offense. Thankfully, the law has a specific, powerful tool for this exact kind of nightmare. It's called a privacy injunction, and the best way to think of it is as a legal emergency stop button. It's a court order that you can get very quickly, and it legally forbids someone from sharing or even just threatening to share your private information. So, armed with this knowledge, Amelia took an incredibly courageous step. She decided to fight back, and the legal response was swift and it was decisive.
Her legal team rolled out this emergency 5-step plan. First, they gathered all the evidence, every message, every screenshot. Then, they immediately applied for that emergency injunction. And this is so crucial, they also got an anonymity order to protect her identity. The court granted it, and get this, that very same night, the order was served directly to Daniel.
Now, this brings up a huge concern for anyone in this position. The fear of your name becoming public record. I mean, that can feel just as terrifying as the blackmail itself, right? So, can you actually fight back without everyone knowing your business? The answer is a clear, resounding yes. That anonymity order we just mentioned, it means pseudonyms are used in all court documents and proceedings. It's designed specifically to ensure a victim's privacy and dignity are completely protected through the entire legal process. So with these legal protections in place, the power dynamic shifted completely. The end of this battle wasn't just about winning a court case, it was about winning back a life. In the final court order was a total and absolute shutdown. Daniel was banned from all contact with her forever. He was legally forced to hand over and delete all the material he was holding. He was ordered to pay Amelia's legal fees, and most importantly, if he ever breaks that order, he faces immediate arrest and potential prison time. And this is really what it all comes down to. After months of living in fear, Amelia could finally breathe again. Her own words say it all. This victory wasn't about revenge or money. It was about reclaiming her sense of safety, her control, and her peace. Amelia's story is an incredible testament to one person's courage, but it also holds some vital lessons for all of us about our fundamental right to privacy. So, what are the key takeaways here? First, if this is happening to you, you are not alone. This happens far more often than you might think. Second, blackmail is a crime. It doesn't matter if the information is true or not. The threat is the crime. And finally, you have to know that legal help can act incredibly fast. You have every right to protect your privacy and your peace.